Hello and welcome to another Kickstarter board game preview. I'm going to be talking you through some games that are going to be finishing their Kickstarters in February that I think have a lot of potential and could be really good games for the future. Now, just to let you know, all these games have at least 15 days left on their campaign, so if you want to get involved and support them, you do have enough time. And as per usual, we're not going to be covering role-playing games or RPGs, because that's just not really our thing here at Playopolis. So first up we have Agents of Mayhem Pride of Babylon, which is a 3D story-driven action board game, which is actually based on a video game called Agents of Mayhem. Now Agents of Mayhem came out recently and the video game didn't do too well. However, this board game, it's got a lot of support already. People seem to be really liking the 3D board. And what you can do on this 3D board is it's destructible, which is good fun. So if you throw a grenade, a building might collapse. And if you are sniping, you can position someone on the top of a building, and if you want to get rid of the sniper, just blow up the building. I think that's quite cool. Now what this board game is trying to do is recreate that feel of a video game, and they're doing this through dynamic gameplay, which basically means that rather than having turns, everyone kind of just goes for it, and you can spend your resources to have extra actions, interrupt other players' moves, and generally just, it's less waiting for your turn and more like, this is happening, I'm going to do that. The game itself, it looks really, really nice. The components are quite cool, particularly the player mats where you can slide in your cards. It generally looks like quite a polished product, particularly with the miniatures. I know it's a bit of a cliche for Kickstarters, but these miniatures look really, really nice. So yeah, Agents of Mayhem, people seem to be liking it, and I think it might be one to watch. So the next game up is Planet Apocalypse, which is a 2 to 5 player cooperative game in which players are going to be defending the Earth from demonic creatures. Now you might be looking at this artwork and thinking, oh, this looks a little bit like Doom. And believe it or not, the designer of Planet Apocalypse is actually Sandy Peterson, who worked at ID Software and has worked on the Doom franchise. Now, of course, like a video game and a board game designer, they're very different things, so it's also good to know that he actually was one of the people working on the original Arkham horror game as well. One of the things we always look out for with Kickstarters is, do they have a track record? And clearly Sandy, he has experience in the industry. Now the game itself, it looks really cool. I'm particularly a fan of the game boards. Usually game boards are like rectangle, they're quite standardized. This one has a bunch of crazy game boards. There's like a wavy one, and that's cool, and it's hopefully going to add some variety to the gameplay. The theme itself, it looks really cool, and I'm also liking these miniatures. They're really, really detailed, and just the art design is generally really cool. So yeah, if you're into horror games and you're after a cooperative one, this might be one to look out for. So the next recommendation we have is Space Park, which comes from the team behind Campy Creatures. This is Keymaster Games. And one of the reasons that we loved Campy Creatures so much is because of its really, really cool art style. And I'm happy to report that Space Park, also the design and the art style, it's looking really cool. It's very similar 1950s B-movie, space, adventure, pulpy kind of thing. Now in Space Park, what you're going to be doing is exploring the galaxy, visiting different planets in order to collect crystals. Now what the crystals are going to determine is who is the most successful space explorer in the galaxy. I quite like the look of this game, and in particular the way in which you explore planets, which kind of reminds me of Not Alone. You basically see the planets laid out, and each one will have a unique ability, so you want to make sure that your ship gets there before other players, because this game is going to be quite reactive. You're going to be definitely hindering other players just as much as you are improving your own standing on the leaderboard. So this is definitely a sort of take that style game, which I love, and I know the Playopolis team does as well. So the next game up is Endeavour Age of Sail, which is a game that actually came out a few years ago, I think 5 or 6, and it was a bit of a big hit. It's a sort of Euro game where you're going to explore across the world, starting off in Europe, and you slowly conquer different nations, expand your empire, and basically you want to be the most successful empire. And this game, like I said, it was pretty successful back in the day, and it's good to see a second edition with a lot of improvements as well. We now have a double-sided board, which has game modes for different player counts, which is always good, because the big boards can sometimes be a bit imbalanced when you have only like 3 players. And there's also going to be new polished rules and brand new artwork as well. This game, it's a typical Euro. There's a lot of tracks going on. You're going to be advancing your culture, your money, your empire, and your military, lots of different aspects. So if you like Euros, this is a bit of a classic, and the theme looks very cool as well. So this might be one to keep an eye on for sure. So the final game recommendation in this video is going to be Pulp Detective, which again has a really cool theme. What it is it's a 1930s, 1940s set detective noir mystery game in which you're going to be solving a variety of cases. So think Sherlock Holmes, but meets LA Noir. Now instantly that sounds really cool to me. And in particular in this game, the artwork, it looks amazing and it looks very of the time. And the reason for this is because they've actually licensed out these amazing comic book covers that were from the 1930s, 1940s. In the game, you're going to be split into 2 phases in which you are doing the storyline aspects. So you're interviewing people and encountering new clues and cliffhangers. And then there's going to be the investigation phase, which is when you actually get around to shooting bad guys and doing a bit of action. This is a card-focused game, so there isn't actually too much story to read, but it's more similar, I'd say, to time stories, in which there's going to be different symbols that you have to match to advance the story and unlock new clues. The game is for 1 to 2 players, and I'm just really excited by it. I love story games, and this one, it's got me, you know, I really want to give this one a try. Okay, so that was the Kickstarter roundup for early February. As I said earlier, all these games, they have a decent amount of time left, so if you want to get involved, there's more than enough time to do so. As always, thank you very much for watching. Please do like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what you thought of these games. Is there any Kickstarters that we missed? It's always good to find out. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.